Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we've got another energy check-in reading. I already have some cards out. I'm using the Angel Animal Spirit deck, I think it's called. But today we have out the Tiger, the Dragon, the Stingray and the Sea Serpent. Okay, so those are the first cards and then I'm going to get into some more tarot and stuff. But the instant message I was getting from this is that you are no longer playing small. You are stepping or have stepped into your power, and you are seeing things very, very clearly, more clearly than you've seen them in a very long time. You have left behind a cycle of being like unaligned. You see on this Stingray card, can you see how all of the chakras are glowing and shining? I really feel like you have recently had some sort of like energetic shift when it comes to your internal energy, your chakras. If you've been working on those, especially like if you've been meditating on those, you have probably felt this shift. And with the Tiger and the Dragon coming out, you see on the Tiger how there's a moon on his third eye, right? Like this area, which represents the intuition. And then the next card out was the Dragon, which is like just an eye. You are seeing things very, very clearly. The road ahead has been made clear to you. Even if you don't see, you know, every single step, every single thing that's going to unfold or how it's all going to work out, it's more like this intuitive knowing that it's going to work out, that a cycle has closed or is closing. You're no longer chasing your tail. You're no longer being your own worst enemy. I just heard. You are no longer being your own worst enemy because you've come into alignment, because you've seen the truth. And I feel like this, for many of you, it's the truth about yourself. It's the truth about your own power and how powerful you actually are, and that there was never any thing in your way apart from yourself at times, and that nobody can have power over you unless you allow them to, because you are truly powerful. And I think with the turtle on the bottom, this has been a long road for you. This has been a long path. It's maybe been a long cycle of you feeling like you were going round and round in circles with some very painful patterns and situations. I'm getting this for many of you was in your relationships. You felt like you were meeting the same kind of people over and over again, just in different bodies, right? Like the same relationship dynamics, but also just like a cycle of self-sabotage is what I'm really getting, like getting into or experiencing situations that really blocked you from fully being in your power, that really kept you in this loop of insecurity and like self-blame and like kind of a victim mindset, or just like not believing in yourself and not believing that you held the power within you to get yourself out of the darkness, like not believing in your own strength, not believing in your own power. But that has changed, and that's so important. And even though it's been a long cycle, you're ready to hatch. You're literally ready to hatch. Let's get some tarot. But like, I really feel like this has probably happened for you over the past, I'm getting 4 to 6 weeks. There's been a big shift for you. You could be noticing this in your physical body as well. You might be feeling more energized than you were, and just like feeling more confident in yourself, showing yourself more compassion, more self-love, that type of thing, and treating yourself better, treating your body better. But also like intuitively, you've been tapped in. You've been very, very tapped in. You've been maybe getting some real downloads, some real insights about situations, people, yourself. Like if you are somebody that does readings or is a spiritual person, like meditation and stuff like that, you've been getting the messages coming through. But even if you don't have to practice things like that. Like whatever it is for you, meditation can be so many things, right? Like it can be going for a walk, doing the washing up can be meditative. Like There's so many ways. You don't have to just sit in stillness. That doesn't work for everyone. The Ten of Swords. I'm telling you, you are coming out of the darkness. You have ended a cycle of mental overwhelm, a cycle of anxiety, a cycle of worry. And like, I'm getting very much the throat chakra, which obviously when we talk about the throat chakra, a lot of it is about speaking your truth, setting boundaries, stuff like that. That's the typical like thing that people would think, which is true, obviously. But it is also very much listening, not just to others, which is important, but also to yourself. Listening, but truly listening. And also, when the throat chakra is out of balance, it actually has a lot to do with overthinking. And I'm really drawn to all this blue on the sea serpent, and how, you know, this sea serpent, it looks so aggressive and like it's chasing its own tail in such an aggressive way, like trying to hurt itself, right? But it's like kind of unknowingly, like it thinks that tail is something that it needs to attack. It's like you've been attacking yourself in almost such subconscious and subtle ways that you haven't even fully realised how much you've been harming yourself for a long time because of how you've been treating yourself and how you've been thinking and feeling and like where you've been moving from. But anyway, getting back to the throat chakra thing, with all this blue on this card, like it really was standing out to me. And with this Ten of Swords, it's like the throat chakra, when it's out of balance, it can really cause overthinking and anxious thoughts, and that kind of inner monologue, which is, you know, your throat chakra, your inner voice. Those thoughts where you've got that inner voice of worry, of overwhelm, them intrusive, anxious thoughts of worst case scenarios. Like when that is so intense, it definitely can be to do with the third eye as well. And all, you know, everything's linked. But to me, that always is very much the throat chakra, even though, you know, it's your thoughts, it's your mind, but it's your voice, it's your, like, do you get what I'm saying? So I feel like you've had a big like upgrade, healing thing around your throat, definitely is to do with like how you outwardly communicate and talk and listen, but it's very much to do with how you inwardly talk, communicate and listen with yourself, and what thoughts, you know, you allow to have power over you and which ones you allow to just float past. And, you know, recognize this is an anxious thought, doesn't really mean much apart from, you know, it's showing me something, where is it stemming from? Like, rather than getting in that spiral of anxiety and those thoughts, you are having, if this hasn't happened already, you're on the path to this. And the more that you step into your power and your confidence, and you truly believe and trust that you are more powerful than your anxiety, than your thoughts, than any situation that is trying to take your power, or that you perceive to be trying to take your power. Because sometimes you're actually just fearing the worst, like, oh, these people are out to get me, or the universe is, or like whatever. No, you're not cursed, you're just worried. Like, and you've been through some heavy stuff, and it's led you to have this mindset of thinking that things are out to get you, but they're not. And even in thinking that and believing that and holding that to be true, that is what is sabotaging you, or has been sabotaging you for such a long time. And I'm not saying that your intrusive thoughts will manifest. That is not the case. But when a thought is given, like, when you give it attention and you affirm it to be true, like, say if you have an intrusive thought and you're just like, that's an intrusive thought, that sucks, but like, whatever, that's not going to manifest. When a thought becomes a belief, becomes a pattern, that's when it becomes damaging. Again, I'm not saying it will manifest if you have a recurring anxiety, you know, no way, like, come on now. But your belief systems create, you know, your thoughts create your belief systems impact your decisions, and therefore it does impact your life, right? So yeah, please don't get it twisted or think that I'm saying that your intrusive thoughts or fears or worries will manifest, because I'm not saying that at all. So don't start worrying about that, do you know what I mean? But like, I've just picked the deck up and the strength card was left on the table. It's just, it's important to pay attention to what you allow to become a belief and a habit, because it will impact how you live in your daily life, right? Like, I've been there for sure. And you know, it's not that those fears will come true. It's that when you're living in that state of fear and you're moving from that place, you're going to make decisions based off of that. And therefore you're not like reaching your optimal happiness, or like making decisions out of confidence and out of self-belief, which will lead you to more abundance, more opportunities, and make you feel more aligned and calm and happy. And do you know what I'm saying? Like, I hope that makes sense. So please don't take it like that your intrusive thoughts manifest, because they won't. And a lot of people are saying a lot of shit online, and you know, you just got to be careful what you listen to, but because some people don't know what they're talking about. Ten of Swords and the Strength card. You could be a Leo, you could have Leo placements. I'm also getting strong water sign energy here, but regardless, literally, you have made peace almost with your shadow. These thoughts, these fears, these anxieties, it's like you one day almost just woke up and you were like, no more. Like, this is not having power over me anymore. And you looked at them from a new perspective, a perspective of strength, of like claiming your power back, of thinking, okay, what is this trying to show me? Why is this here? What part of me does this stem from? What experience does, you know, this stem from? Where do these thoughts originate from? And you kind of had the realization of these thoughts, these fears that you had, these anxieties, were only coming from a past version of you that was trying to keep you safe in the only way it knew how. And when you see it like that, and you approach it like that with compassion, you're able to like nurture that beast. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, it, instead of giving it power and letting it rule you, you switch it into just another way for you to love yourself even more deeply. Just another way for you to get to know yourself on a deeper level. Ace of Pentacles. I really feel like there is a new beginning for you here that is so rooted in stability and abundance, more so than you have ever known, I think. Like, you are coming into so much, I mean, money definitely, but like career opportunities for sure as well. But I'm just getting like this inner stability, this connection to yourself, your body, the earth, that is unbreakable. Like I'm getting like a tree with the most strongest, deepest roots, and then it's like the growth that you are able to have from having those deep roots that are so like incredibly strong and unbreakable is immense. Like, a tree can only grow as high as its roots grow deep, or whatever I think that's true. It's a saying, at least. But it's like, right now, you might be like a little sapling, a little bud growing from the earth. You might feel like you've got such a ways to go. But don't underestimate all the work you have put in to your growth and yourself, because those roots are run deep for you. And this new beginning for you is one that is so grounded and rooted and unbreaking. Like, you might have felt like before you've had like new beginnings, but then something goes wrong, or it's like you never felt fully grounded in that new beginning. It never felt fully reliable, maybe, like whether that's with your career, with your relationships. Honestly, I feel like this is in all aspects of your life. It's with your relationship with yourself, it's with your relationship with others, it's with your career, it's with your money, it's with your home, it's with your I don't even know, your hobbies, like overall your experience of your life. But this new beginning that you have created for yourself and that is being presented to you by the universe, it is outward, but it is also inward. Very much like it's coming from within. It's like the shift that you've had internally is why this is so unbreakable. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's why the opportunities in the physical reality are so like available to you and so reliable and dependable and stable. It's because you have done that work internally, those roots. Do you get what I mean? So I would expect definitely for new opportunities to be coming in for you soon, like especially to do with your career and your money. 8 of Pentacles. You're gonna have the opportunity very soon, if it hasn't already begun, because I think for most of you it has, to really build something very long lasting and stable for yourself. I do feel like for many of you this part of it is to do with your career, but again it is also to do with your sense of self and having that like inner stability. Like we have this card coming right under the sea serpent, and I'm really getting the message of like building, like almost forging new like connections within your brain. Like, you know how, I'm not a scientist or anything, so don't take my word for this, but you know, like in your brain you have certain patterns in the nerves or whatever it is are like wired a certain way based off of your experiences. It's like I think they're called the neuro pathways. Again, I'm not an expert. You had like certain neuro pathways, let's call it that, ways of your brain thinking that have been rooted in like fear, insecurity, anxiety because of past trauma and experiences, right? But with working on, honestly, if you've been meditating, like, I don't know if you know Dr. Joe Dispenza or them type of meditations, but if you've been doing that, shout out to you. But overall, like coming back into alignment, working on forging new habits, new ways of thinking, it's like your brain has started to create these new neuro pathways. You see how this is like all, it's giving me the imagery of that. Like if you look that up, I think you will find like content on what I'm talking about. But like when you start to form new habits, new ways of thinking, at first it feels forced, like you'll have to remind yourself to like catch those anxious thoughts every time and then like implement a more positive one. It's kind of like CBT therapy, I think that's what it's called. When you do that, it's like you slowly create these new neuro pathways in your brain that after a while just become natural to you, like these new ways of thinking that are based in stability, safety, comfort, security, like calmness, peace, joy, whatever it is. That's what you're doing, like that is what you've been doing. You've been making your mind a safer place for you, and that might not like look like much externally, you know, like you might not have much to show for it, because if you've been focused on this for so long, this internal growth and healing and stuff, maybe you've not been as focused on your money or your career as some people have who haven't had to do this or haven't had the strength to do this. But long term, like you having done this is setting you up for a future of success. Like this has set you up, like putting this work into yourself, overcoming these shadows, implementing these new ways of thinking, stepping into your power, healing from traumas, like all this work you've been doing on that is setting you up for so much success, so many new opportunities, for long lasting new opportunities. Like these are going to be things that last a lifetime. These, I can't stress to you enough like how important this work you've been doing is, and how even if it might look like not that you've not done too much or you've not achieved much society, like in terms of money or society, like what society deems achievement, you have, like, you really, really have. It's been like so internal that you haven't yet seen how it's going to impact your external reality in this such a positive way, but it is. And you will be seeing that over the next 8 weeks to 8 months. I do feel 8 months, like by 8 months, your life's going to look totally different, especially in terms of your money and your career, but also internally with your inner state and how that makes you come across. Does that make sense? Like, because you'll be feeling so much more like stable and secure and in your power and all this stuff, and like even just peaceful and calm. The way you look, the way you present is going to be different because you're not coming from a place of fear. Like, you're able to be more intentional with the way you express yourself, with the way you like, you know, with the way you talk, with the connections you make, with the opportunities you take, and just the way you spend your time, the things you do is way more intentional because you have the capacity for that, because you're not being weighed down by fear and traumas and emotions that are so overwhelming that you have no other energy left to do other stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you've purged that, you've healed that, you've done that. So now you do have the resources, you do have the time, you do have the energy, you do have the money, or you will, to do the things you want, to create the life that you want. Leo season could be very significant for you in the summer. Leo season, so like end of July, August, until like, I think it's like the 22nd or something, that it then turns to Virgo. I feel like that's going to be a real, you'll see a lot of opportunities coming at that time. And your financial situation will greatly be improved by then. Especially if you are a Leo, it's going to be a very powerful time. So the card that just flew out is Justice. You could have Libra placements, or Libra season could also be significant. But the message I'm getting from this is that this is your good karma. This is like, you have earned this new beginning. You have paid off karmic debts. I'm hearing you've healed karmic patterns. If that's something you believe in, I'm not trying to push my views onto anyone, but if you believe in that, and like past lives as well, and the karmic kind of debt that you can accumulate, you've been breaking certain karmic patterns, karmic, you know, cycles and stuff like that, to do with not embracing your power, not stepping into your power, and also like generationally as well. This is like healing from patterns that have been there through the generations in your like lineage. Like, you're the cycle breaker. But what I'm really getting is, this is your good karma coming in. This is, you know, the scales are balancing. You have felt like in your life things have not been just. Things have not been fair. You've been through experiences that have probably been harder than what most people on average have had to go through. And it's been hard for you, it's been tough. You know, 10 of Swords, it's been tough. Like, no wonder you were in the sea serpent energy, no wonder you had all these anxieties, but you've pulled yourself out of it, you've shifted, you've grown, you've healed, and things are shifting. Like, you shouldn't have had to go through that, and I'm not saying that at all, but you've made the best of a terrible like situation, and you've just alchemized it into growth and into stability and into like, it's almost like you just looked at it and you were like, right, what, how can I make something of this? What can I do with this? What, you know, like an alchemist, like, what can I do with this? Like, what, how can I transmute this? How can I turn this into something that can benefit me, that in any way, right? And that doesn't mean you should have had to go through like traumatic events at all, but you chose, it's either you let that break you or you can grow from it. You can let it, you know, define you. You can let it make you a victim. You can let it make you put that hurt onto others. You can make, you know, you can, a lot of people choose to just do that. A lot of people don't choose to consciously work through and heal things and not let it make them a bad person, not let it, you know, make them into the person that hurt them, or, you know, just to pass that on. And you chose not to do that. You chose to be better, to do better, to heal, to grow. And you always remain fair and balanced, even in your like darkest of times. You remain fair. I think as well you have a real gift for seeing things from like a lot of perspectives, like Libras do. Obviously not all Libras do, but you have an ability to see things from a perspective where you take your ego out of it. You take out, you know, how your opinion, which is based off of your experiences, your, you know, beliefs, which are opinions, you can take those out of something and see it so clearly from someone else's perspective, even if it is completely different from yours, and you're able to like really see things from so many different views. That's really powerful, and that is like a real gift that you have. But I think there's also been like a lot of intention behind that. Like, it's not like that's just magically happened. You have learned to do that through your journey, through your growth, through the hardships you've been through as well. Like, you've been through so many difficult things and such hard things that you are very like non-judgmental. It cut off, but you're very like non-judgmental. You're very able to understand like people and things, and you know, it doesn't mean you make excuses for people if they're being, you know, not great, but I think you just have a real talent, a real gift for seeing things from a lot of perspectives, and that is a real like powerful thing for you. That could even be something that like you're able to somehow work into your career in some way. Like, if you're like, I don't know, I'm getting like a therapist, or like even like a reader, or like something to do with working with people and being able to really understand them and hold compassion for them. Even working in law, I'm getting like working with like in prison, like something to do with that, like maybe being a psychologist for like people like in prison, or working in the prison industry, or like working in law, like something like that. But it's just like your ability to, doesn't mean you make excuses for people, doesn't mean, you know, it's nothing to do with that. It's just you are able to really understand people because of the darkness you've been through. It's made you a very understanding, compassionate person. But yeah, you are really getting the justice that you deserve. After a long period, I'm hearing 8 years. After a long period of real hardship and feeling like things really weren't fair for you, you've changed your mindset around that belief. Like, you held a belief that things weren't fair for you, and that was honestly just like keeping you in that loop. But now you've like changed those neural pathways to think, no, yeah, it was shit, but like things can be fair for me, and they are. From now they are. That's what you're manifesting in, because you're putting intention behind that and you're affirming that to be the truth. Do you see what I'm saying? So we've got the 5 of Pentacles and the Page of Wands. I really feel like this is a lot to do with your childhood and the things you went through as a child that were very very tricky. Like, there could have been money problems growing up, but also maybe like abandonment wounds, feeling like you were alone in this world. Even if you had people around you, there was this sense of loneliness, of having to kind of go it alone, to face things alone, to figure things out on your own, to handle your own stuff, like, which you shouldn't have had to do as a child. You know, you should have that support at that time. But I feel like you are very fun, adventurous, like curious, energetic child, which most children are, but there was a weight to your life and your experiences from a young age. I'm getting the age of 5 was significant, or from age 5 or even before that, whatever, but it's going to be different for everyone obviously. But the weight of the things you experienced, it kind of overshadowed this light, you know, like you weren't able to fully have that freedom, that childhood, that fun that you wanted, that you should have had, that you deserved to have, you know, that children should have, because there was a weight, there was things that, you know, caused you to grow up too fast, caused you to have to look at darker aspects of life that no child should have to experience, you know, like at that age, or that no one should experience anyway. I feel like as well you could have taken on a lot of emotional like weight from your both your parents, or one specifically I'm getting from your mother, and I don't feel like this was intentional. Like, it's not like that parent of yours or that person set out to put that all on you, but they did. Like, you had to grow up too fast and almost emotionally support them. Like, maybe you were like the man of the house or the woman of the house when you were only young. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, when that weight is put on you, there's like, maybe you were talked to about problems, money problems, or relationship problems, or emotional problems by an adult, you know, that you shouldn't have had to carry, you shouldn't have had to even know about at that age. But you did, and you were like, I can handle this. Like, you know, at the time, like, you kind of felt glad that you were confided in that way, and you were like, yeah, I'm strong, like, I can fix this, you know, whatever, like, I can help my parent, or I can fix this problem, or when I get older I'm going to sort this problem out and I'm going to fix everything. But it's like, that's not right, do you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't have to feel that, and I think that deeply impacted, like, obviously how you viewed things, and it weighed very heavily on you. Even at the time it didn't feel like it did, and as you've grown you've realised that, and you've realised the impact it had on you. And now I feel like you're in an energy of, I feel like you've recognised all this, you've done a lot of healing to do with all this, and now it's like you're coming back into this Page of Wands energy, this energy that you never got to fully embrace as a child. Now you're coming back into that, you're rediscovering what makes you happy, like hobbies, and just doing things for the joy of them, and not looking at everything like, how can this be productive, or how can I make money from this, or how can I, you know, rather than that, even though that's not bad to have career goals obviously, but this is more like you having fun on your journey, in your life, in your day-to-day life, being more hopeful, being more adventurous, having more fun, having more laughter as well, spending time with friends and people that bring you joy, doing silly things, you know, being yourself, being your true self, watching silly shows, films, like things that make you laugh, things that bring you joy, doing hobbies and things that make you feel this connection to your inner child, feel this joy, feel this freedom, and just kind of approaching life with this sense of childlike wonder and innocence, but with the wisdom to not be taken advantage of in that way that you were as a child, like in terms of, you know, whatever it was, like being weighed down by other people, or, you know what I mean, like, you are now able to embrace that, like, innocence and that joy and that passion and that, like, adventure and all of that stuff, but you're not naive, you're not a child. Like, you have wisdom, you have gained so much wisdom from the things you've been through. So it's like you don't have to fear being in that joyful energy and like someone taking it away. Or do you get what I'm saying? You don't have to stop yourself from being happy. You don't have to fear being happy or being adventurous or any of that stuff, because you've got the wisdom as well. The Fool. It's time for a new beginning for you, like the Fool. And again, on this card, it's a child on the Fool card. You're trusting again in the universe. You know how, like, with children, it's often said like they're very tapped in spiritually, because there's not that, like, all the conditioning hasn't been put on them yet. All the, like, trauma and the weight and everything hasn't had its impact yet. I think you're coming back into that. I think you're coming back into, like, trusting more in the universe and not living out of fear and just having more fun and just, like, going with the flow and taking risks, but, like, risks that pay off. Like, this isn't like putting yourself in dangerous or risky situations. This is like taking risks on yourself, believing in yourself, believing in your future, believing in your abilities, in your talents, and taking the risks, even if other people don't understand it, because they've not done the inner work and they're stuck in the rat race and they're, you know, each their own, they're doing their thing. But when you're like, I'm going to get a little bit weird with it, I'm going to, I don't know, whatever it is for you, I'm going to do tarot on YouTube, let's just say. I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to be a musician, I'm going to, whatever it is. And people are like, what? Who cares? Like, like you know, like, you trust and you know, and you just take the opportunities as they come and you enjoy them. That's what's coming up here for you. What else is coming up for this person? 7 of Wands. Look how he's jumping into all these spheres. The odds are stacked against him. People have their opinions. People want to say whatever. He does not give a fuck. Like, he's like, come on then. Like, I'll prove you all wrong. That's what you are doing. You know you can take on. You know how capable you are, because you've got what you've been through and what you've gotten yourself out of. So do you really think you're going to stop now? Do you really think what someone else wants to say is going to make you stop now? The opinion of someone else? When you've been through the trenches, when you've been to hell and back, and you made it out, and you're still a good person. Like, you're just like unbothered. Like, you're in this energy of like, okay, like, and even if like obstacles come up or, you know, whatever, like on your path, nothing is gonna faze you like that, like it has done in the past, because you're facing it from such a new place of like confidence, trust, power, and like you're just so different now. Nothing's really gonna faze you. Even like, you know, I'm not saying there's gonna be no obstacles or no, you know, this is life, things happen, but not like what you've been through. Do you get what I mean? Like, you are just in a different level, like, of energy now. Page of Pentacles. You're having so many new beginnings. The Star and the High Priestess came out as well, like with the Page of Pentacles. You are really here to help other people to heal. When you follow your intuition and trust in your gifts that are growing, by the way, because the more you step into this energy of peace and calm and trust and confidence, you have some real intuition, you have some real spiritual gifts, some healing gifts that are growing, that could become a career for you as well. Like, whether it's gonna be so many things. For some of you, it's like some sort of art that you make brings healing to others, like music, writing, art in itself. Some of you do some sort of healing with your hands, or you make something, like you make some sort of product that's healing for people, or you do energy work, or you do readings, or you do whatever it is. You are here to bring healing to people, especially like you're gonna, like your life's journey is part of this, and I'm sure this came up in another reading that I did as well on here, but this collective I'm talking to, my collective on here, you are my healers. Like you truly are, just by being yourself, just by the more you are your authentic self, the more you allow yourself to be seen, the more you come from a place of, you know, being in your truth, you bring healing to this world. And you are meant to be seen. Your gifts are meant to be shared with the star here and the High Priestess. You're meant to be seen, like you are meant to be this star. And that will bring so much healing to the world and to yourself as well. It's like both. But yeah, the more you heal, the more you grow, the stronger your intuition gets, the stronger your gifts get, the more connected you are to your creativity and your gifts and your talents, and then the more abundance comes in for you, and it's just like, it just keeps growing and growing like a snowball. When you like roll it down the hill and it just keeps growing. That's what I'm getting. There's no stopping you now. You're already rolling down that hill. You're already growing. There's no stopping this. And you know this intuitively. You know this. I feel like the people I'm speaking to, you already know. You already know. Let's see if there's any final messages that want to come out here. I literally just cut the deck on the Hermit and then it came out. You've gained so much wisdom through the dark. You've been in this Hermit mode, but it's time to come out. And you still might have times where you need to be the Hermit. Not everything is meant to be shared, but you'll know intuitively what is and what isn't. But you're done being in the darkness. And if you ever do feel lost, just tap back into your heart, your intuition, your soul, and that will guide you, as it always has. As it always has. You knew. You never gave up in the darkest, in the trenches. You never gave up, because there was that little subtle, that star was guiding you. That star was guiding you, that inner voice, that subtle hope, that knowing that there's more for you out there, that this is not it for you, and it wasn't it for you, and you are going to see that very, very soon. Virgo season, Leo and Virgo season this year for you, and Libra. That's like these three, like all near each other. Leo, Virgo, Libra. That's the order it goes in. Those 3 months. Come back then and comment what's going on, because I think it's going to be a lot of good stuff though. Like, going to be a lot of opportunities, a lot of growth, a lot of just joy. Any final messages, please? We've got the Six of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Again, returning to this connection with your inner child, returning to this energy of love, frankly. But also, side message, some of you are going to be hearing from someone from your past. This is going to come in very suddenly. There's a lot of nostalgia and a lot of feeling and a lot of passion intertwined with this situation. This could be someone you knew in your childhood, or I'm hearing somebody that impacted your journey very deeply, that maybe helped you to reconnect with your inner child, and maybe you helped them to do that as well, even if it was tricky, like triggering maybe. But on this path to you connecting to your inner child, this person played a significant role. But this is someone that's in your past, like you haven't really heard from this person, or you don't talk to this person. We had that Hermit card out before as well. Like, I think you will be hearing from someone where there is an opportunity to make amends and resolve some sort of issue and achieve some sort of clarity. Even, you know, that doesn't mean, I'm not telling you to accept someone back into your life if they aren't, you know, meant to be in your life. That is completely up to you. I'm just saying you might hear from someone, so heads up for that. But I think this is an opportunity for healing. Again, it's like you look at this and you're like, how can we make the best of this? Like, what can we do here? Like, how can this conversation bring about healing for us both? How can we move forward from this in a way that is the most aligned and like for our highest good? If that means never speaking again, then so be it. Like, but that's what's for the best. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you're able to look at stuff from a very like practical but also compassionate place, like I was saying earlier, where your ego doesn't get in the way. And it's not like, well, you hurt me, so and then they're like, well, you did this. Like, it's not, that's not what's happening here. It's like you're able to view this person as their wounded child, inner child, see why they behaved in a way. And again, that doesn't mean you accept them back into your life or you put up with harmful behaviour. This is not for like anyone abusive or anything like that, by the way. But, you know, if there was hurt and misunderstandings that weren't intentional but came from a place of being wounded, I just feel like there's a conversation that's going to bring a lot of healing for both of you and allow you to move past this. And I think this has been affecting like your confidence, or it did, and getting the clarity here is going to help you to like have some sort of closure and like finalize a cycle, which is very interesting because we're very soon going to be ending the year of the snake and moving into the year of the horse, with the Knight of Wands. Like, I just feel like there's a significant conversation with someone that's going to bring healing for you. So that, I feel, is the end of the message. I hope that resonated for you. Please let me know if it did in the comments. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on my Etsy, which is linked below in the description. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to join that. There's over like 300 exclusive readings on there, and I'm adding more, you know, pretty often. So you'll gain access to all of them when you join. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope this reading resonated and, you know, brought you some sort of clarity or put you into alignment or just was what you needed to hear. I really appreciate you all. I appreciate you all being here, listening to me yapping. Means a lot. So yeah, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.